Look at these D&D dice. They urge me to make a saving throw. Roll for initiative. Or, in this case, roll for engine start, I guess. All right, what are we talking about? We're talking about Truck Off, the food truck frenzy roll and write. Not to be confused with the original Truck Off, the food truck frenzy. Not a roll and write. In Truck Off, the food truck frenzy roll and write, you and up to 99 of your friends will be traveling around a town trying to make the most money by selling food to multiple venues in a crazy map in about 25 minutes. I have to admit, the first time I saw the dice for Truck Off roll and write, I got kind of giddy. It reminded me of D&D dice so much that I wanted to play it just because of the dice. But is this game any good, or will you be left with a tasty set of dice and a stale game? To start off a game of Truck Off, each player gets a map, which is also where you keep track of your money and all the stops you've made and your bonuses too. Make sure everyone's on the same side. There's an A side and a B side. The rules say that the person who most recently ate at a food truck gets to go first, which is problematic because that person is probably in intense intestinal pain and is indisposed at the moment. I'll go first. Wash your hands. The current player rolls the dice, and they have the option to re-roll any one die. Then each player draws a Tron-like vehicle path to a venue that's up to 4 spaces away. No diagonal moves. And you're not using the road. Instead, you'll be drawing from the center of one building to the center of the next. Don't know how that would work. When you get to your destination, you draw a dot to show that you have stopped there, just a small one. If you backtrack, you can draw a little squared in to come back out of the path and continue on. Then write the number on the die that you choose on the windy path at the top of the sheet. The die color must match the building of the color you stopped at. So at the start, if you choose the purple 4-sided die, you would write in the very first score box at the top of the windy path. Now I know what you're thinking, and yes, I really did eat that die earlier. And why would I not always choose the first venue that's next to the path, so I can fill out as many score boxes as possible? Well, that depends on what your opponents are up to. Yes, I said it. It's a roll and write where you actually care what your opponents are writing on their sheets. So many roll and writes are just multiplayer solitaire where there's no real interaction. But not in this game. Your actions will affect other players, not in a direct, mean kind of way. You're not stealing the burritos from their food truck, but you can dictate the end of the game. You see, the game comes to an end once a player reaches the last purple spot on the windy path. But they can't rush too fast. The game must last at least 12 rounds. If you get there before 12 rounds, well, then your other players, they get to continue taking turns without you, and that would be sad. If you see one of your opponents is only 1 or 2 moves away from finishing the game, lagging back and not jumping at the big points quickly could leave you feeling like a flat tire. Yes, 20. But that could be 5 spots forward on the windy score path, and you have to skip over the spots between there, never to return until you play again. You are also constrained by the map and where you decide to drive your food truck. Do you move it to that venue off to the side to grab the high points that just happened? If you do, where will you go next? If you cannot make it to a new venue in 4 moves, then you effectively lose your turn and have to draw an X on the next spot on the path. And you cannot visit the same venue twice. And that is the juicy burger of decision in this game. Do you slow play it like a crock pot your mom had waiting up for dinner all day? Or do you go to the fast food route and just grab as many points as you can? There are some tricky decisions to be had based on the way the map and the path interact. You see, just like that double burrito added an extra inch to your waistline, you can add a lot of points on these 20-sided die venues. However, the score path is reversed so that when you reach a 20-sided spot, the very next spot on the path is another 20-sided die spot. And it's almost impossible to make it to 2 of these back-to-back. Almost. I know I'm going off grid, but I'm getting some big points, boys! Wrong kind of trucking. Hey, you can truck off. Drive whatever truck I want. Right, we've never even mentioned the bonuses yet. Another reason you may not want to rush ahead to the end of the score path is there are opportunities to grab bonuses along the windy path. If you get 3 venues filled in on a row or a column, you get a bonus listed there. You can get an extra $5, which is points at the end of the game. You can draw a bridge, which is huge. This could get you out of a stuck situation and get you to one of those juicy 20-sided die venues. Another is to draw a gas station on the map, represented by a G. When you cross that G on the map, you get 3 more movements that turn, which is another way to chain together some big point venues, like I mentioned earlier. And kicking your food truck into high gear, you can get a +1 movement for the rest of the game, so moving ahead 5 instead of 4 each turn. There's a double bonus. You draw a ×2 on a spot you plan on visiting in the future, and when you get to the spot, you can double that number. Imagine doubling a 20. Oh, so sweet, like a dessert food truck. 40 points. When you plan it properly and get this 2x bonus where you're the active player, then you get to decide which of the dice to re-roll, which can give you some more points. So maybe that 20-sided die was a 5 and you can re-roll it. Yeah, I don't want that 5. Great, 2. Yeah, truck you. Which brings me to the next bonus, which is to re-roll 2 dice for the rest of the game. Yeah, I'm getting a bonus this run. And apparently, turning your food truck into a Doctor Who TARDIS, you can teleport your truck to a new start location with this bonus. You can promote a venue, which is a multiplier for the marks in a column. So you may not care about those lower numbers because you want that multiplier at the end of the game. There are some tough choices in this game. You may find yourself in a position to get the lower number, so you can grab a ×2 multiplier. But if you do so, you're not taking that maybe 19 that someone just rolled. And paying attention to both the map and the windy score path can be tricky. You may find yourself right next to one of those 20-sided die venues, but then the only space you can make it to after that is a yellow, causing you to skip over 4 venues in a row, and foregoing any bonuses on that row too. Ugh. And because the end of the game is dictated by how fast you or your opponents are racing to the last venue, the game keeps a certain tension that you just don't find in a lot of roll and writes. The gameplay is quick, and every time we have played, we have immediately said, turn the sheet over, we're having a rematch. And then another one. But you need another sheet for that. Not to bring this review to a screeching halt, there is one issue with Truck Off. There are only 3 starting locations on the map. If you're playing with, say, 6 people, you're going to have some overlap. And these players' score sheets can match almost exactly to another player for a lot of the game, especially if there's always one clearly better die. Now, we've not seen a complete match at the end of a game, all matching, but looking across the table, you can see your opponent has selected the exact same numbers as you for the last 5 rounds. It feels like being tailgated by a cop for 10 miles. It's a little nerve-wracking and frustrating. Is he still back there? So do we, at the Game and Party channel, recommend Truck Off Food Truck Frenzy Roll and Write? Yes, 100%. This is a game we look forward to pulling out at a game night. It's quick to play, easy to teach, yet is deceptive and tricky with how you plan ahead. You may hear from your friends say, oh, this is one of those simple roll and write games. I prefer the heavy Euros. Wait, I can't make it to the next venue. Well, now I have to skip all these spots. What do you mean the game's almost over? Let's play again. Truck Off the Food Truck Frenzy Roll and Write is a delightful game, and you will have fun with this and your friends. Whether you are hardcore gamers or just looking for a quick game to teach and play, it's a great way to spend 25 of your hard-earned minutes. Just don't eat the dice. You know what you should do? You should subscribe. There's a button down there that says subscribe. You should click on that and click on the little bell icon. And you know what? Leave a comment. Tell us whether you like this or not. We'd love to hear from you. And check out our next video. Thank you for watching.